Swap outs suck. And while I've talked about this subject before, I'm going to talk to you about a side of swap outs that maybe you haven't seen. So without any further ado, let's go.
The following program contains disturbing materials that may not be suitable for some resellers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the channel. This is John with Flip It Ain't Easy, and swap outs is what I'm talking about. And I made a video a couple years ago. Didn't get a lot of traction at first, and it's probably one of my most popular videos. And at the time, that was a video about a Ninja blender jar, I believe, or a food processor jar that someone bought from me that they had swapped out, and they didn't even do a good job of covering it up. And if you want to see that video, I'll put it up here somewhere so you can check that out. But I have a different type of swap out, and it's still bad. And many of you guys won't even ever experience this kind of a swap out situation. But I have to say that it's still disappointing and it just sucks. So earlier today, I was going through the stuff that I picked up from liquidation and was doing my thing, going through, testing, evaluating, taking photos, listing. And this is what I came across. Well, when you come across liquidation and it has eBay tape on it, this is where the customer returns it. That tells you everything you need to know. That this was a reseller who bought this, and something ain't right. Something ain't right. Now, I'm trying to find out what's going on with this thing. I haven't opened it yet. Maybe this is a nothing burger, but just to let you guys know, if you guys have an Apple Watch, it likes to talk to you when you're not talking to it. Okay, so let's see. This is supposed to be a utility pump. Let's see what we get. See that it's been used. They used it on a job, right? Maybe there's some water leakage. I don't know. This is definitely used. Look how rusty that is. I don't know. This might not be worth keeping. And more rust. Got the parts that go with it. And even the book, the manual. So I guess we'll plug this thing in. Let's see what happens here. Well, that's the story. It don't work. Just plug this thing in. Normally these pumps will start going, even though you don't have them submerged in water. They get real loud until you put them in the water. Well, what happens here, you see, this is a typical swap out scenario where they'll have the new manual, right? Obviously, they never opened that because they never needed it. They just needed the new one of these. The accessories are still in their bags. You can tell they've never been used. No water tape or anything has been applied to those threads. And they just simply buy this, swap it out, and shamelessly, they put their eBay tape on there and set it back into Amazon. That's pretty bad. So I knew something was up with this the moment I saw it, and I'm glad I was able to put it on video so you guys can see it with me. This one, thankfully, I can take this back. I've got a place that gives me 7 days to inspect everything, which is cool. But yeah, this one's your typical swap out scenario right there, guys. So that sucks, huh? What do you guys think? It's par for the course, but I knew right away when I saw the eBay tape on the box that this was not a normal buyer return situation, because all of the items that I received, 99% of the items I received, are in some way, shape, or form buyer returns, whether they're never opened or, in this case, it's their old, used, beat up, broken, beat to hell, doesn't even power on item like the one you saw in the video, and they swap it out. Essentially, they're putting their money up front to Amazon, for instance, or these other companies. They're getting the item and they're swapping out their old nasty used item and sending it back. And the disappointing thing, of course, it doesn't matter what condition the item is in, Amazon's going to, or Walmart, or any of these uh, retailers are going to just put the item into liquidation. They're not going to evaluate, they're not going to look at it. In fact, Amazon refunds the money as soon as there's a tracking activity on the tracking that they give you for the return label. They have nobody looking at these things before they process a refund. And it sucks. And of course, these buyers buy also on eBay. And this is why we see as sellers from time to time, we will send our items perfectly good condition, maybe even brand new. They'll get it, they'll swap it, they'll send it back. And because it's worked on Amazon, Walmart, Target, and wherever the hell else they've bought before and done this, they figure it's going to work also on eBay. This is why it's important that all sellers inspect, take the time, don't just refund upon receipt. Get the package, open it, make sure everything is right. Even if they return the item, maybe there's a missing accessory or accessories, the buyer is required to send back everything, even the internal packaging and the outer packaging that you ship to them. If it's part of what you advertise in the listing, it needs to come back to you according to eBay and their guidelines. And that's kind of what I follow. Believe me, if eBay's following their own guidelines, sometimes they don't even follow their own guidelines, but they're putting it out there. They're expecting us to follow those guidelines. I'm going to follow them, right? If I can say I followed everything that eBay has recommended for me to follow, then I have no problem deducting 50%, and don't deduct anything less than 50%, because when you deduct any amount, you're not getting any of your fees back. Whereas if you give a full refund to a buyer, eBay gives you your fees back. So just keep that in mind. So if you're going to deduct things, deduct the whole 50% or nothing at all and just take the hit. And that's kind of the way I look at it. If it's worth, if we're talking they didn't return some small accessory, it may not be worth even bothering with the 50% deduction. In fact, eBay has a guideline, set of guidelines like a table that they have in their policies that tell us that, we have to follow, if they don't return all the accessories, the items in the same kind of condition, blah, 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 then they want you to deduct like 20% or 25%. I'm not playing that game. I'm either going to not, in case of maybe internal packaging or something's not quite the same, I probably won't, versus, no, this isn't what I sent you, or there's missing things, multiple things or important things from this, so that if I was to try to list this again, I'm going to make substantially less because these accessories or whatever is missing. So it's up to you to use your best determination when these swap outs happen. But nonetheless, this is just one example of the additional swap outs that some of us liquidation resellers have to put up with. And thankfully, where I go, of the many places that I go, it's the only place that says, hey, you can have 7 days, make sure everything's on the up and up and send it back to us. I hope that they're not dealing with reseller scammers that are just swapping out old stuff, but that would be absolutely horrible. But thankfully they offer that service so that I can evaluate, make an informed decision, test everything real good, and make sure that it's worth listing, within a 7-day period. So if you have opportunities like that out there, places where you can go buy, whether it's liquidation or other types of goods where you have some type of recourse, that certainly should be appealing to you, and you should be utilizing them as often as you can when it comes to your sourcing. But guys, it's part of the game. This is nothing new. Swap outs are a part of it, and you have to have the stomach to deal with these kind of situations. But figuring out if you can handle swap outs. It's yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day, and we will talk to you very soon.
Chargebacks, returns, and lowball offers too. Zero takedowns, they're a pain, what can we do? High selling fees, bad buys, and rude buyers galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Sourcing great items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the thing that is within your control. Hang with flipping ain't easy. Let's roll! Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, the flipping's more